Hey everyone, it's the last video just before Halloween, so obviously I'm here to talk to you about sex and death. There are two favourite viewing choices at this time of year, surely, and I managed to pick up the Sensual World of Black Emanuelle for a bargain price from someone. 24 films on there, 15 discs. An absolutely wonderful book packed full of information. If I told you the price, it would sicken you. Basically, I snapped her hand off, and now what I need to do is eventually get a multi-region Blu-ray player. Put that down. I thought I had a multi-region Blu-ray player. It turns out I got the multi-region Blu-ray / DVD player. The multi-region part is for the DVD. Who knew? Certainly not me, because I was silly enough in that. Anyway, I'm looking forward to exploring that set. I've said before how erotic movies have their place in cinema just as much as horror movies in terms of supporting studios, sometimes building studios, and keeping things going for the business side when times were otherwise lean or a bit risky. The cost to profit ratio on some of the biggest successes are just, deliberately, because of some people, incalculable. So it's really interesting, I think, to sometimes go through works like the Laura Gemser movies. That's who famously became Black Emanuelle in that series, and the Mary Millington collection I've mentioned before. There's the Russ Meyer movies, there's all these different types of things, the Adventures movies. Yeah, so I'm not going to go through all of that again, but you can roll your eyes and nudge nudge, wink wink at me all you like. I think I've made a good choice there. In terms of my horror viewings, we're done with the horrors for the podcast. The last episode was on Saturday. That's the last one for the month, so we're now moving on. But I got to see some new films over the weekend. Got to spend some time at the cinema. At local cinema, I saw Suitable Flesh from Joe Lynch, written by Dennis Paoli, who worked famously with Stuart Gordon on many of his fantastic films, including Reanimator and From Beyond. I think Castle Freak. Suitable Flesh is great. Stars Heather Graham, Barbara Crampton. Feels like a Stuart Gordon movie in all the best ways. I highly recommend it. If it's not showing at a cinema near you, or if you can't get along to see it while it's on, because it probably will have a limited number of screenings. I think it's coming to Shudder soon. So hopefully in the UK, that should be within the next month. I think in the USA it may already be on Shudder, or it will be on Shudder shortly. Suitable Flesh, fantastic. Five Nights at Freddy's, not so fantastic. Based on the video game series, I like Josh Hutcherson. He's in the main role. The director, Emma, I want to say Emma Tammy, but I could be mispronouncing her name. Her previous film that I'd seen was The Wind, which was a good atmospheric horror drama. And now she's doing Five Nights at Freddy's. She's done, I think, other stuff in between. I'm not sure if there were features or TV episodes or parts of anthology movies. I couldn't recall her complete filmography. But Five Nights at Freddy's is a film that I think the fans of the video game series will love, and it's already doing well. I think people like myself, who only know a little bit about the concept and a very limited knowledge of it, won't find as much to enjoy. There are a couple of little treats in the cast. I was pleased to see Mary Stuart Masterson again. I've not seen her in a film for a long time. Matthew Lillard is fun as well. As I say, I like Hutcherson. Yeah, it's not great though. It seems to be like it's too tame, but with it being tame, it doesn't lean into any sense of fun. And with it not having those things, you just get some death scenes that are pretty much off screen and dimly lit. It's not good, and it's a bit too long. If I remember right, I think it clocks in at about 100 odd minutes. There's a backstory there that just feels unnecessary. So yeah, didn't work for me. Not terrible by any means, but didn't work for me. What is terrible is the latest Exorcist movie, The Exorcist Believer. Someone needs to take David Gordon Green away from Hollywood horror properties. Take him away, quarantine him, keep him away from everything. You know, the Halloween trilogy that he did, mixed reviews for that, and I appreciate that some people like some of the turns that the material took, certainly more than I did. The Exorcist Believer is just wrong from the start. It's not good. It is, if you've seen the trailer, everything that you thought it would be. The trailer sells it as, remember how The Exorcist had a young girl possessed and it was very shocking and traumatizing? Well, here are two girls and they'll get possessed together. That's it. Where The Exorcist built and built and built, and the actual exorcism scene in the finale is, I want to say, about 50 minutes, if that. Because I remember first seeing The Exorcist, sitting there thinking, well, where's the exorcism? The Exorcist Believer doesn't have that build-up to the same degree. It has two girls going off into the woods and then coming back, and you as a viewer thinking, well, they're not right now. Yeah, it's pretty awful, and again, really bad with the lighting actually. So like visually ugly. Has a moment that looks like a couple of characters are fighting one another in a Mortal Kombat scenario. Like Noob Saibot and someone else fighting by a fireplace wouldn't be out of place in certain parts of The Exorcist Believer. And the role for Ellen Burstyn is, it's embarrassing. It's probably the worst way a horror legacy character has been shoehorned in to a more modern installment of a franchise. And I realise that that could be saying something, but it is. You know, she has said she did it for the pay. They offered her a certain amount that she eventually didn't want to pass up, and she's put that money to good use. Good for her. Like, there would be no money in the world that would be enough for me doing that and saying the lines that they give her to say. It's horrible. Just painfully so. Like The Exorcist as a franchise now has a new worst installment, and this is a franchise that contains The Exorcist 2 Heretic. So there you go. At least that was a massive swing and a miss. This just does nothing. This falls down at the side and then lies there while people beat it up for over 90 minutes. So we're moving from the horror though into Noirvember. I really like Noirvember. I try and make a good fist of it, try and get some marked off the list. This week I'm going to check out Jagged Edge. I've had that disc for a while. I'm going to check out Pushover, The Pushover, with Fred McMurray and Kim Novak. I'm going to check out a few different things, but I wanted to remind people, if you have the Indicator box sets, the Universal Noir, the Columbia Noir, there's 5 of the Columbia sets, 2 so far of the Universal, you really need to dig in. I keep forgetting how much is contained in those sets, and so far I've also checked out some short films that are in there, including some Three Stooges shorts, which I'm not a fan of the Three Stooges, but they were never a big thing here. They didn't. I don't think they made the impact here that other American icons of comedy did. Like, as I was young, I got used to seeing clip shows and films of Harold Lloyd. Abbott and Costello were on. Everybody knew Chaplin. And, you know, Buster Keaton and the likes. The Three Stooges were people I became aware of at a young age. I saw clips and I just didn't find them funny. Well, the indicator discs usually put shorts in there that are sort of thematically linked, and I watched one the other day called The Blunder Boys, I want to say, and yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was actually smarter than usual. It wasn't just all eye pokes and slaps. I did laugh at some of the silly gags, and I thought it was a fun spoof of the crime / detective movie tropes that they were playing with. So that has reminded me that there are so many on these discs, and I'm saying this now because A, it's Noirvember, and I know a lot of people will be checking out these box sets if they have them, but B, just today is the start of the sale that's on the indicator website, Powerhouse. So you can get some good prices for the box sets. So if you've been putting it off, then I would get them now. There is nothing I would recommend more in terms of your own cinema room loveliness than being able to get some bargains on the indicator website when it comes to their box sets, especially their noir box sets, which are beautiful. Dive in, explore the world of noir, watch some old favourites, find some new favourites. This is not a sponsored advert, but that's it. So I'm going to jump off now. This ran a little bit longer. I hope you don't mind. I hope you enjoy the summaries of some recent horrors, and I hope you perhaps join me and some other people throughout November as we start watching some film noirs and marking them off the list. I'm looking forward to lots of titles, including, I think, Croupier counts, and I got the nice Arrow set of Croupier a few months ago, so I've been saving that one for November, and I'll figure out lots of other titles on a week by week basis. Anyway, until next week, take care, bye.